Hi everybody, welcome to ELA class. I'm Mr. Greif, as all of you know. I'm still going to be your ELA teacher for this remote learning period, which we are hoping only takes 2 weeks, but could take longer. So we're going to kind of get used to this new format. I've been really excited working with all the other teachers to come up with ways to make this really cool for you guys. And I hope that even though I know this is an anxious time, this is a fun time for you guys to learn and get ahead in your studies. Our goal as a Teachers College community is to make sure that you guys get enough learning and enough instruction in order for you guys to move on to the next grade or to graduate. I've tried to pick a ton of really cool short stories and texts that I think you guys will be really engaged with and really love. And I'm excited for us to do this work together. So the way ELA class is going to work is you guys are going to both read some short stories in class. You're going to read some short stories on Common Lit for homework, and then we're going to write short stories of our own. Now, if you remember, at the beginning of the year, we wrote a bunch of short stories, and I was so impressed with the writing that many of you did. And I'd really like to see you guys do that again. And the reason why is because I think it would be great for both me as your teacher and you as growing writers to see how far you've come this year. Because believe it or not, each and every one of you has improved so much with your writing. And almost every time I read a new batch of in-class assignments or I read a new batch of papers, I realize how hard you guys are working and how far you've really come. I'm hoping that you all had great homeroom classes where you were able to kind of go over the structure of the day and learn about what the school day is going to look like for you overall. We're treating this sort of like the very first day of school. So we want to make sure that you guys are oriented to what the day is going to look like. We want to answer any of your questions. And we just want to spend a lot of time making sure that the norms are in place and that you guys know what to expect each and every day. I know it's going to be a little weird, but I am happy that I'm going to get to see you guys every day. And, it's still going to be a way for us to connect and for us to get to talk and for me to get updates on what you guys are doing and for you to get updates on what I'm doing. Welcome to my little teaching nook. I'm hoping to do a lot of the teaching here. This is my own personal library. It's where I've collected all of the books. Some of these have been here since I was in high school. I have even more in storage at my parents' house. I kind of think of this library as my brain, but it's on shelves. So I'm glad you guys will get to see some of what's on these shelves. And I'll definitely try to take some time to show you guys a few of the books that are my favorites. Without further ado, let's make sure to go over the main things I want you guys to understand today. So class norms. For attendance, you must be on time to the live Zooms. So it's important that within 1 or 2 minutes of the live Zoom starting, you're already logged in and that your camera is on. The reason we need your camera on, even if you're a little anxious about showing your face or you don't want your friends to see your bedhead, is because it's really important to us that we know that you're there and we don't want anyone just to turn their microphone on and then walk away from the computer. Obviously, if you need to go to the bathroom or if your mom's calling you or if you need to quickly grab a snack or anything like that, you should just message the teacher, which would be me, in the bottom of the Zoom call and make sure they know that you're taking a quick break, but you'll be right back. The expectations for that would be the same as the expectations in school, that you should take no more than 2 or 3 minutes to take a quick break if you need it. And here's how the class agenda is going to work each day. So let's say that your class starts at 2:09 p.m. Your classes are all going to start at different times, but I just wanted to give you this example. So if your class started at 2:09, you would have until about 2:25 or 2:30 to watch the mini lesson video and to complete any pre-work. So your pre-work for today's mini lesson, and this is the mini lesson that we're doing right now, is to write down any questions that you have about this new format, any concerns you have about this new format, and if you don't have any questions or concerns, you can take this time just to free write. On other days, it might be completing a quick jot, it might be reading a small piece of a short story, it might be working on your intro for the short stories that you're going to end up writing. There's a lot of different things your pre-work will look like, but for the most part, in that time, you should watch the video and make sure all of your pre-work is completed. Your homework is hopefully completed the night before. Then after that, at around from 2:30 to 2:50, so the next 20 or 25 minutes, we'll have a live Zoom session. How the live Zoom sessions are going to work is when you guys enter the room, your mic will probably be muted, but if you want to say anything to the whole group, you can raise your hand and I'll unmute your mic. We expect everyone to participate in the live Zoom sessions in one way or another. So sometimes I'll have you write something down and everyone hold up their answers. Sometimes I'll ask people to raise their hand and I'll click on raised hands. And sometimes we'll have people write into a chat what their response is to discussion questions. There's a whole lot of different ways that we'll have you guys participate, but we really want full participation in those live Zoom sessions. And then the last 5 minutes is going to be some sort of check for understanding. So this is where I'll either ask a question or I'll give a mini quiz, or I'll in some way try to make sure that you understood what we were going through in that lesson. I'm also going to have office hours. Office hours will occur at a certain time each day. Those are in your schedules. As you begin to write your short stories, office hours is a great way for you to get eyes on your short story and get individualized attention from me. All you have to do is send me an email, either through Google Classroom or through Dojo or through your or through my Mr. Greif's email at gmail.com, and let me know that you'd really like a slot during that time, and I'll make sure that you get a 15-minute slot where it's just you and me going over your story. Besides that, you do get a lunch break, and you will have to have a Common Lit account so that you can get your homework there. If you have any questions about any of this, I would encourage you to write it down, because in just a couple of minutes, we're going to be meeting in the live Zoom. I'll see you guys there.